Hi everyone, this is Catherine Fox. I am going to try to use this video kind of like a cooking show and demonstrate how to make one of these awesome scrub caps, complete with this button. This helps to keep the elastic off people's ears and put it around the button instead, so that it won't be as tiresome on those ears. You can see some of the features of this hat cap. It's got a nice little elastic at the back. The goal of these scrub caps is to cover all the hair. So we want to have something at the back, at the nape of the neck, so that you can tuck all those little hairs in there. And then we've also got these ties, and that just allows the cap to be nice and adjustable for all different head sizes. This pattern is based on the Dragonfly pattern. We'll post a link to that pattern. You will need that so that you can get the pattern pieces. First step to doing this is to cut a strip of fabric that's going to be this brim. So that's what I'm showing here. It's 4 inches wide and the width of a bolt, so at least 40 inches. The next step is you're going to take this, fold it all the way out, and fold it in half lengthwise, iron down the center, then unfold it, fold it again so that the edges meet in the center on both sides, and again iron. So once you've done that, you'll have something that looks like this, which looks pretty similar to this brim over here on the finished product. So you'll see that's the folds that I was talking about. The nice thing about this, your cap will fit right in snug in there, and you don't have to worry about frayed edges or anything like that. We'll just put a nice little straight stitch along there. You can see that here if I go close. We'll just put that along and it goes on both sides. Alright, the other thing you're going to need to cut is a 5-inch piece of elastic. That's for this piece at the back. The elastic goes right inside a casing there. Then you're going to need your pattern pieces. So this is the pattern piece. It's labeled top piece A. It does need more than 2 pieces of paper. That's why you have to tape it in the middle there. It's no big deal. Give you a general sense of the shape here. So you can see once it's sewn, that's the part that goes down at the back here. So you can see the top is this round shape with this little flap that goes down at the back with the elastic at the end. So you're going to cut out one piece from that. So that's this guy. You can see I've got a little bit of selvage edge here. That's going to disappear once I do the seaming. The other piece looks like this. So this is the side piece that goes along here. It's called front piece B. Again, you have to tape it because it goes over more than one page. The other important thing to note here, sorry it was upside down, is you need to place that fold on the fold of the fabric because it's one long strip that goes all the way around the head. Alright, so once you've done that, you have a piece that looks like this that you folded out. That's the side piece. And you'll note part of it is curved. That's the part that you're going to join to the top, and the other part is straight. That's the brim at the bottom. Alright, so those are the pieces that we have. The next thing we're going to do is take this top piece, fold it in half, and put a pin right in the middle. Then, right sides together, that gets matched with, remember, the curved piece of the side. Right up here, we already know where the middle is because we did this on a fold. So I usually just use my thumb and forefinger, to basically place that there like that. And then I would use a pin to put those two together. Okay, the next thing that you do is you take that to your sewing machine. You've got the pin in the middle here, and you start seaming from there. And as you go around, you just maneuver the fabric so that it stays along the edge. I don't know that it matters so much what the seam allowance is, as long as you're consistent. I wouldn't make it too big though. When you get to this part, you're going to pivot. So put your needle in right there. Lift up the foot of your sewing machine, and then turn the fabric around so that it goes like that, and then seam down that last part. Once you've done that, it looks like this. So you can see, so I started in the middle, went all the way around, down that part there, and then I went back to the middle and went around the other side. So that's what that looks like. The next thing you need to do, of course, because we've got these edges that might fray, is zigzag all around that edge. Once you've done that, it looks like this. You've got that zigzagging all around the edge. The next thing is we're going to add the elastic casing that goes right in here. The elastic casing is, we're doing about 10 inches across, which is wider than this flap, so we continue on a little ways over here. Again, I don't measure it, I kind of eyeball it, and what helps with that is if you first iron your little seam up. I will note that they might not match, like you can see right here. This piece ended up longer than this piece. It doesn't really matter. You can trim it so that it's the same if you want. Again, this isn't really an exact science. We're not trying to be perfectionists, we're just trying to cover people's hair. And so this is the casing. You flip it up a little bit there, and then flip it up again, enough so that you can get some elastic through the middle. So once you've done that ironing, you seam it across. So you can see I've started here, gone across about 10 inches to the other side. Then you get your elastic that you cut, the 5-inch piece. What you could do is take either, if you've got like a needle that you would use for knitting, maybe like a giant loop needle that this could fit through, and thread it through the casing, or you could use even a safety pin at the end. You need something that's going to help you push it through, and you basically just put it through one end, like in here, and start weaving it in. And then when the end of the elastic lines up here, that's when I stop. I leave the rest of it already in there. The fabric will start to gather. And I just take this over to the sewing machine at this point and put a little seam right down where my thumb is drawing. And then I finish, and make sure you catch that end of the elastic. Pull the elastic all the way through to the other side. Again, another seam down the other side. And it ends up looking like this. So you can see there's the seam I've been talking about on one side and on the other side, and it gives you a nice little stretch in the middle to hold those little pieces of hair at the end. The last step, I guess not quite the last step, is to take your nice brim piece that you ironed earlier, and tuck the edge of the cabot right along the inside. I go to the sewing machine just like this. I only have one pin. Again, I start in the middle, and I just do a straight stitch from here all the way along, When you get to the back part, you're going to taper it a little bit so that it covers the edge of your elastic. And you keep seaming all the way down to the end of your tie. I just tuck in the ends so that it's a nice neat end, and then seam across. And then you go back and repeat again from the middle and around the other side. And you end up with your finished hat. What did I do with it? It's over here. The last step is then sewing on these buttons. We did those by hand, so I'm not going to show you how to do that. The placement of the button is pretty much behind your ear and up a little bit. So that's my little tutorial. I hope that was helpful. I would encourage you to mix and match the fabrics that you have. If you don't have a piece of fabric that's big enough for one of the pieces, you can sew a couple of pieces of fabric together until it's big enough. Have fun with it, and thanks again. Bye.